day I got to LA, it was like 3 hours after we landed. We in a restaurant. The discussion was like, we was talking about tattoos. So everybody going around the table, you know, showing their tattoos. And I showed mine. I got 2 tattoos. One say thank God on my hand, and the other one I got some scripture on my forearm. The lady asked me, she said, "Oh, so you a Christian?" And for me, that was like, everything like slowed down, like, except for my heart. My heart was beating like crazy. I got scared because I didn't know what to say. Any other time I would have just said yeah, but this time was just different. In order to really like appreciate and understand why it was different from me, we gotta like go back, because when I was 12, I got baptized. And from there on, I thought like, that's what made me a Christian. I thought I was saved. So all my life, from that point on, I'm a Christian. I used to say, I guess, Christian things. I used the terms of, you know, biblical terms. Like I knew how to say things like, you know, Jesus died for my sins, or I was baptized, or something like that. So anytime the conversation would come up, I'd be like, yeah, I'm a Christian. I think maybe because this one, it was different because it wasn't amongst my friends, people I'm used to, or my comfort zone. So at the restaurant, it was different coming from this lady. I thought she might have some type of follow-up question or something. I thought she was gonna test me. I thought she was gonna question me and challenge me. And I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't built for that. And I knew it. I answered it the best way I could. I said, yeah, I'm a Christian, but I'm not religious or nothing like that. I said, I'm very spiritual though. And she ain't had no follow-up question or nothing. Nothing really happened after that. The conversation changed. Everything was back to normal. But for me, that bothered me, because I knew like, I'm not that type of person. I like to have reasons for believing something, or I just knew that it wasn't right for me not to have a reason really why I'm a Christian prepared for a follow-up question. Time goes on, it kind of faded, didn't bother me no more, but I thought about it every now and then. It just used to creep up on me a little bit. So God used two characteristics of mine, or 2 things that kind of makes me who I am culturally. One was hip-hop, the other was, believe it or not, reason and logic. I like to think about things. I've always been like a deep thinker, even when I was little. I used to think about things. I used to hold my fingers in front of my hands and be like, yo, how do I know how to do that? Like I used to have deep questions, but they was profound questions. Who is God? You know, where does he live? Things like that. So as I got older, the questions got a little deeper, more personal. Yeah, I think he used both of those, you know, reason, logic, or maybe philosophy and the hip hop culture, because it was one day I was making a beat. I went to go sample something. I had the beat already. Beat was nice, whatever, but I thought it needed an intro in order to have the impact on the artist that I thought it should. So I was looking to sample some dialogue or sound bite from either Martin Luther King or Malcolm X. I wanted to sample something they said, either a speech or an interview, something like that. So that was the hip hop side, you know. I'm attempting to sample. All of a sudden, here go me being the thinker that I am. I'm looking at the similarities between the 2. I'm like, all right, Martin Luther King, bold, brave, courageous, very intelligent, stand up for what he believed in. But I seen the same thing in Malcolm X, and yet they contradicted each other on what I thought was the most important question. And that question is, who is God? Because if one based everything they believe on the principles of the Bible, and the other one based it on the principles of the teachings of Elijah Muhammad or the Quran, then something ain't right, because they contradict each other. So it can't possibly be that they both right in terms of who's God. And that's where I was thinking. While I'm thinking, that event that took place at the restaurant kind of came back. I gotta find out if there's some real answers to this stuff, because I don't just want to just claim that I'm a Christian no more if I don't have no answers. And what if I'm wrong about Christianity in the first place? What if Christianity is not true? So I started looking up debates on YouTube, Christianity versus Islam, or Christianity versus atheism and stuff like that. Eventually, I saw this dude named William Lane Craig. His debates and his lectures broke everything down to, like, it got to the point where it would be stupid if I didn't believe in Christianity. That's how I felt. Like, it was just, in the same way that 2 + 2 = 4, the Bible was just as true. But that still didn't make me a Christian. Like, I was convinced that it was true, without a doubt. And I was going in for like maybe 6 months straight. I'm just on YouTube every day. I'm reading articles and all types of stuff. And it was another guy too that I was really, really interested in, named Ravi Zacharias. And he's like my hero to this day. I was looking at a lot of those lectures and a lot of the Q&A forums and stuff like that, and it was just blowing me away. I was getting all of this information and learning new things, but that don't make you a Christian. Just like being baptized don't make you a Christian. And one day I found this sermon. It was by a guy named Adrian Rogers, and he was talking about what makes someone a Christian. And he was talking about sin a lot. It didn't really feel good. It wasn't like cool, but it was true. And now I know what makes somebody a Christian. And it was at this point, this was like the realest point in my life. And I'm part of the hip hop culture. I'm from the hood. We claim to be real and keep it real all the time. And I certainly thought I was real. But at this point, this one, it really got real. I had to ask myself, like, are you a sinner? What the implications of that is. Like, sinners don't go to heaven. Point blank, period. Once I got convinced that, yeah, I'm a sinner and I deserve to go to hell, I wasn't just convinced intellectually, but I was convinced that it was necessary, that I needed Jesus at this time. All the other times it was just very, very, very interesting things, even to the point where I would argue now. I'm willing to argue about it now and defend it, but I didn't have a changed heart. And what the Bible calls being born again, I wasn't born again yet. But that day when I seen myself for who I truly am, a sinner that's definitely deserves to go to hell, that's when it was real. I'm like, all right, tonight is going down. I'm getting this thing settled. I remembered a little bit of a prayer that Adrian Rogers said. I kind of just vaguely remember like what he was saying, and I just used it and applied it to myself. So that night, I was a little scared because I thought something crazy was gonna happen. So I had the covers over my head, and I just said a prayer. I just asked Jesus, like, you gotta save me. I can't do it. It's over for me. I messed up. Like, I'm a sinner. If I die today, I deserve to go to hell. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. So I said, you gotta save me. And he did. So I'm like, once I finished the prayer, I took the covers over my head a little bit. I'm looking around. I thought like a light was gonna come through the window or something. It was a church across the street with a big bright cross. I thought that thing was gonna come in the crib or something, but nothing happened, and it just was nothing. So I went to sleep. Woke up the next morning, and I just knew that I was changed. Like, my heart was changed. Everything about me was changed. I just woke up with new hopes, desires, dreams, goals. Everything changed, just instantly like that. My whole life was just different. Like, all I cared about after that point was Jesus. Like, everything. So I'm in LA. The more and more I'm in the studio and everything, it just was getting real heavy on my heart. Like, I really don't even care to be here no more. I want to go home. Like, I want to get into the Bible. I want to learn some more stuff. So I just kept going. Little by little, it just was getting even more and more real for me. And now, that's all I want to do is preach the gospel. Because I know how real it is. I know that there's other people that was like me, who go their whole life, maybe they went to church their whole life or whatever, and they think that they're Christian, but it's real easy to fool yourself. Because until you get to that point where it's time to keep it all the way real, you are not a Christian. And the Bible makes that very clear. But I didn't know that, so I know that other people don't know either. So now I just want to tell everybody. That's what happened.
Looking back, I was so whack, cause I used to swear I was so real. Whole time I was fronting on God, but he still kept it trill.